Today, I am taking the OSINT challenge test that is given to the CIA, FBI, and other intelligence agencies. The challenge is to use free and public data to gather information about a person, an organization, and a location from a single photo, like this one, or this one. These are stunning images that can literally be anywhere in the world. To make this challenge fair, I asked you guys to send me your random photos with no context. I simply posted this in the community tab on this channel, and you guys sent me a bunch of images. There are no obvious markings like signs or street names, so how do we do this? How do we track this location? So let's put on our best James Bond suit and let me show you how to use free tools to pass this intelligence test. Okay, so the first image was submitted by Michael. Let's zoom in and see if we can find any street names or any road signs or any town or cities or anything that's going to give us a bit of a clue about where in the world this was taken. Okay, I can see absolutely nothing, so I'm going to go into the file info. 3 little dots at the top, file info, and here it sometimes tags the GPS location of this photo. In this case, it wasn't. Next up, let's go to good old images.google, click on search by image, the little camera, upload an image. Let's go through these now. I cannot see anything that's glaringly obvious. So I hang over to Bing, bing.com. I use their search image facility, and again, nothing that pops up. But let me show you why I use Bing, because of a tool called Visual Search. What it does, it puts this little focus ring on the image itself, and wherever you move this around, it will update the search results based on what it says just in the focus. So let me just make it nice and small, and you can see it keeps on updating. So let's find something that's unique in this photo, like those 3 little islands at the tip there. That's pretty unique. And when I put my focus ring on that, on the right hand side, there it is. Look at that. That is a pretty darn good match. It looks pretty similar. Mumbles in Wales. So what I do next is I open up Google Earth. So earth.google.com. I go to the search bar. I paste that in, Mumbles in Wales, and we fly around the world instantly, and we're going to see whether we're in the right location. So here is Mumbles in Wales, and look, it's got that same kind of C-shape kind of cove, I suppose. Looks pretty similar to the one in the original picture. And what I want to do here, let's just try and zoom in. Okay, look at that. It's got a little bit of an inlet thing that's going on there. And it's got these couple of very unique buildings. So the ones here, that sticks out to me because it's facing kind of a different direction. Then it's got these ones with these 4 square windows. Again, that's a unique structure. So those 2 structures in relation to that little inlet, maybe that's going to give us a clue of where to look. So there is that little inlet there on Google Earth. Let's see if we can zoom in. Now, with Google Earth, if you hold the shift down, you can actually zoom in more towards a street level, different kind of angles. There we go. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is that unique building facing the different direction. I think we're definitely onto a winner. Now, where was this photo taken from? Well, cool. Let's go to Google Earth again. Let's zoom out. Find the same similar kind of angle. And now what I want to do is look for another marker. So let's zoom in here. Okay, look at this. A blue house. Can we spot a blue house? There we go. There's a blue house there. Oh man, we are so in the money here. So what I'm going to do is take the little dude on the bottom right, drop him off to go see the street view that we can with like Google Maps. And now that he's landed, well, let's just take a quick look around. Okay, look at those poles in the front here. That's the same patterns as the poles that we have in the original picture. And now I think we're on the money, we're in the right spot, maybe even a little bit further down, but obviously Google doesn't have that area covered. But yeah, we're pretty darn close. I'm pretty impressed with this. Wow, this would not have been possible to do without the Bing Visual Search that allows you to crop in on specific elements to help you generate better intel. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which was a lot simpler. The info was right there, just hidden from the naked eye. Check this out. All right, next up, we've got a picture submitted by Exis, and it's a stunning view of the snow-capped mountain. Let me zoom in to see if there's any distinguishing marks that I can latch onto, and there's absolutely nothing. Now what? I open up a website called Jimple, I mean, there's lots of them. They're essentially an online EXIF data viewer. And EXIF, for those who don't know, is the data that's embedded within the images himself, and it's going to extract a whole bunch of information. So let's upload the image and see what we can pull out of it. Okay, so there is the original image right over there. On the right hand side, I can see I've got a file name, I've got a file size, but if I scroll down, guess what? The EXIF data actually had the exact GPS coordinates of where this photo was taken. And as you can clearly see, this was actually taken in Ecuador. If I open up the map, well, this is the exact location. Okay, so the lesson here is simple. You should always check your images that they don't have any metadata in them. Now, if you're uploading your pictures to social media like Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of those, you don't have to worry, as those kind of systems automatically remove that metadata for you. Okay, let's do one more, and I'm going to show you the 3 cool tools that you need to have and bookmark. Right, next up, we got this image that was submitted by Connie. We've got this box of some type, rusted box, this tree that's kind of almost covering the door. What else have we got? Okay, there's some more damage here by the windows. Maybe that's a clue. All right, file info. Maybe they've also got the data. Nope, not so much. Not so lucky this time. So where do we go from here? Well, we're going to go back to Bing. And as soon as I load it up into Bing, guess what? That's a pretty darn close match to Connie's picture. Okay, let's open that up and let's just double check everything. Okay, there's the little rusted box. There are the 2 windows. Oh, look at this. This is the repair job. There's one. Let's go back to the picture quickly itself. There's 1, 2, 3 repair jobs around the window. And I think that's a pretty close match to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And that is in Uruguay. Okay, here are the 3 great tools that you need to have to not only complete this mission, but also very handy with your own family photos. So as you can see, reverse image searches work really well for this kind of purposes. Let me show you a cool little thing. If you right click on a photo and you choose search by image, it allows you to immediately from this point open the image, share the image, or basically do a reverse image search against any of these particular search engines. Now, how do you get that? Well, that's pretty simple. You simply install a free Chrome extension called Search by Image, add that to your Chrome, and now everything is simply a right click away. Next up, I want to show you is a tool called remove.bg. This allows you to remove any image's background, and it's for free. And as you can see, it just removed the sky. So basically everything in the foreground is just much more obvious. And of course, there's personal usage. Like if you've got images of your family, you want to pull them out from the foreground, well, you can actually do that, removing the background altogether. The next one up is a tool called cleanup.pictures. I'm going to upload a photo. There's me with my shoes on this wooden deck. Let's say I want to get rid of my shoes or me altogether. What you can do is simply go over that, and when you let go, watch what it does. Looking at the background, and it will fill in the gaps as if it was supposed to be there. In fact, let me show you if I remove myself altogether. And of course, you just make the brush strokes a little bit smaller just to give you more accuracy. I'm going to speed through this just for the sake of this demonstration. And now I'm gone. Look at that. So how would you use this in today's exercise? Well, if you've got people in the foreground, you can get rid of them, making your results a lot better when you do reverse image searches. You can, of course, use the exact same system to get rid of those people who photobomb your precious family moments, which is pretty darn neat. Now, everybody that submitted the image, thank you very much. Sorry we couldn't go through them all. Otherwise, this video would have been at least another 30 minutes long, and ain't nobody got time for that. I will also say that this isn't always successful, as a random beach photo or a sunset image isn't going to bring any credible results unless there's something unique in each photo that you can use that visual search to home in those results. Let me know if you want more of these. And also check out this video over here that YouTube thinks you should watch. Hit the head down here to subscribe, and I will see you in this video. Let's go.